Hello and welcome to my website, my Marvel Avengers website. This web application was developed for my 205 CD assignment. Within this videocast I intend to just outline some of the technologies that I use within the development of this web application. So here we can see the index page, and this uses Bootstrap as a base, and then I've built on top of that with my own CSS, HTML and JavaScript. If I resize the screen, I'm able to show that my content is displayed differently within different viewports. So from doing this, I'm able to cater for different audiences, different people. If I then scroll up, so this uses sort of a carousel, and it's just sort of an intro page. It's just based more on HTML, CSS rather than JavaScript. I have included a Twitter handle here, which just links towards two Twitter's to Marvel's Twitter handle, and in here I can just basically look at the latest news from Marvel. I then have a bit of history about Marvel Avengers characters, and I use different sort of Bootstrap content, different Bootstrap features such as wells and jumbotrons. I then jump to the characters page. This characters page was more customized so that it would fit within my design specification. So here you can see, as I scroll over the cards or images or different characters, I'm able to generate a CSS3 style in which I rotate the y-axis 180 degrees. So this is defined within my CSS file, which I will show you now. So here I have card front and back. I need to set the back face visibility to be hidden, so that the back of the card is hidden from view upon load. I then set a transition, so how the transition will occur when I scroll over the card. When I hover over the front of the card, I transform the style of the CSS so that it rotates the y-axis 180 degrees, which gives that sort of flip effect. This is then counteracted by hovering away from the card so that it flips back to normal. As I click upon the card, I show more different content through use of the DOM JavaScript model. So this enables me to generate various different contents about these different superheroes through use of functions. So if I briefly show you this, if I jump into the main.js file, this uses sort of an extensive use of the document object model, and this basically, I collect the elements by class name and IDs, and then I identify them individually. I then attach these to different placeholders such as heading position, overview position, image position, etc. As I collect all of the data, so the overview title, the overview text, the buttons, I am able to attach different event handlers, DOM event handlers to these. So first I have a function which displays details. It needs to understand the heading position, and then it can append my different the data that I pass through the function to the child and display the inline block of the button so that it displays underneath. I then have close details, which does the opposite. I then use different booleans to set different states, so that when I hover over each and when I click each, it sets the state to true, and if I select another item, it then sets that state to false and state to true of the new item. And this is defined within close existing, so that each time I open a new piece of content, a new superhero, a new card, the original is closed and the new one is displayed. This takes me into some further document object model scripts that I used. So when I hit more, I load the modals which contain more information about the different superheroes. This is again is another on-click function in which I gather the more button, and I specify that when I click it I want to load the predefined modal in HTML. The next page that I'm going to take you to is forum. This forum page was used to generate some more dynamic content within my website. So here I can use this form and I can specify my name, so Matthew, and then a comment here. So if I put just Q, when I submit, I have data validators to deny that submission. And it says field must be between 2 and 100 characters long. But if I enter the comment in here and I click submit, I then scroll down to where the comment was generated, which is here. And this is done using Flask or more specifically WTF forms. So if I jump into here on my full app.py, I have my different import dependencies. So I have from Flask, import Flask, render template, Flash, and these are all my different import dependencies. So in here I instantiate my static files, I instantiate my app as a Flask object. So by doing this I'm able to create different route handlers and that sort of stuff, which enables my static files to be displayed dynamically. So in here I have my config files which specify the link to my database and my secret key to prevent one-click attacks. I then instantiate my app as Bootstrap. I then develop a class form, so I have a string field, a text area field and a submit field, and these have different validators on so that data must be required, and it sort of limits user input and how they interact with the form. I then have different route handlers, and these route handlers are associated with functions, and these functions are used to render different content so that I can specify dynamic content within my Ginger2 templates. So here we have render template index.html. So I use the base as the parent template, and this just included content that was used throughout my entire design. I also have a title which was passed into the index, which was passed into the characters page. Sorry, the index page doesn't return a title, and this is shown here where I say if title and then Marvel Avengers. Because I haven't passed any title, the title is not rendered there. It will jump to the else statement and render this title here. So moving on from that, this is just rendering templates and that sort of stuff. Here I have defined my forum page, and I've set my route to have methods get and post. So this means users are able to post data to different to the database. So I instantiate my form, my comment form, and form, and I say form.validate on submit. So as I submit the form, I need to collect the data within the form, and I used a SQLite 3 database and connected with this, and then used its cursor to access the different information within the website, within the database. So here I have cursor.execute, insert into comments table, so I insert the names and values, and the name and comments. I then say commit, so commit the database, commit the changes, and then I have a flash.success which comes up to show that this has been passed through, and this has been successful. From here I connect with the database once again, and I select all from the comments table and return the template with these entries. So if I jump into form.html, I use form.hidden tag to prevent against one-click attacks. It's just included within the form. I then have I then instantiate the quick form through WTF. I then have a location in which my flash messages appear, so if it's successful they will appear as a success, and then I have my entries. So as I include entries within the database, I then through using SQLite I then query this database, and my entries are looped through and then displayed below. So this is using Ginger2 templates and system. So these are statements and these are expressions, and therefore I can pass the data that I have received within the SQLite query to the template so that it can be displayed within the website. Thank you for watching.